What's going on, Flicks Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review. This time a Netflix original movie. It is Extraction. It did come out Friday, April 24th, 2020. It is 1 hour and 56 minutes. It is an action film. It does star Chris Hemsworth, and I'm gonna let you guys know a little bit more about the cast, the directors involved, and my likes and my dislikes for this film in a second. But before we jump into all of that, guys, make sure you guys do hit that thumbs up if you guys do appreciate movie and movie news content like this, and always hit that subscribe and bell notification for more content like this. And if you guys didn't know already, this is a spoiler-free review, so let's just jump right into the quick synopsis for Extraction. Tyler Rake, a fearless black market mercenary, embarks on the most deadly extraction of his career when he's enlisted to rescue the kidnapped son of an imprisoned international crime lord. Alright guys, now we all know Chris Hemsworth. He's a huge household name. We know him from all the Marvel movies, the Thor movies, Avengers movies, everything in between, guys. I think this guy's a phenomenal actor, and it's really surprising that we haven't seen him in a role like this, kind of in a forefront mercenary soldier role. And you know, it's long overdue because I did enjoy him in this role. So he played this real hard ass, someone kind of in the end of his road, someone that just knows what to do when it comes to these extraction plans. Get in, get out, you know the ins and outs, the landscape of everything. I think in this case it is India, and just make it look as easy as possible, because that just jumps to my huge likes for this movie is the quick hand-to-hand combat, especially when it comes to all that shaky cam. I mean, I got a lot of that from the movie Taken, so if you guys have seen that, you get a lot of close-up shots, almost like Jason Bourne style. It does get a little bit jarring, in your head for a little bit, but this was pretty clean, pretty smooth. I didn't notice any, stuntmen included in this film. It looked like a lot of it was all Chris Hemsworth. He was throwing these guys around, kind of like how he does in the Avengers movies, so that was cool, because this is a large looking guy, so he's taking on a lot of these henchmen, and he's just throwing them around. He's stabbing them at close range, he's shooting them, he's sniping them from far off, he's shooting bombs, RPGs, all kinds of craziness is going on, so that was a huge like for this film, like I said. Now, secondly, a like for this movie, guys, is the backstory that goes on with Chris Hemsworth. We get to find out a little bit about his family, which is always cool because it adds an emotional dynamic to the film. You start to actually care for these characters, especially towards that third act of the movie, so that always helps when you are developing these certain characters of the film. Now, jumping to the boy that was being rescued or extracted in this film, he goes by Ovi. I'm not going to say his personal name. I'm going to put that up right here because I butchered names, the pronunciation of them, so I don't want to offend anybody by doing that. Now, like I said, he is someone that is the son of a drug lord in this film, and he is the one being extracted. Once they find out his location, or once Chris Hemsworth's character Rake does find out the location, and they do over time kind of form this bond that I thought was going to be very generic, but towards that third act, like I said, that's where all the emotional dynamic starts to develop. Now, last but not leastly, was the pacing of this film. I did like the pacing of this film. Of course, you're going to get spurts of action, you're going to get your dialogue, you're going to get your slower pacing, but it does develop and add to the story a bit, and I thought it was evenly balanced. I mean, we do hit under 2 hours of this film, but I thought it held my attention as much as it could. Once again, going back to that action, I think that definitely, curbed my action inside, guys. I got a nice sized gulp of it. There was things blowing up left and right, people getting hit in the melee of everything, henchmen getting taken out left and right. If you're an action fiend, how can you not love that? And like I said, in the downtime, guys, you get to develop a little more of these characters, their backstories, the people after them. So you had a couple of side characters, and that jumps to my dislikes of this film, was David Harbour as Gaspar in this movie. Now, not too much of a spoiler, guys, but you do see him in the trailer, and you don't get to spend too much time with him in this movie, but the time that we did have, I didn't like his character at all whatsoever, and he was supposed to be a friend to Rake, and just very, very underutilized. I would have liked to see him a little earlier in the movie, just so he can kind of develop a little more of his backstory. He just played like another Hopper character from Stranger Things. So on to the next dislike of this movie for me was the poor CGI. Now, this is brought to us by the Russo brothers, some of the masterminds behind the biggest Marvel films on the planet. Could they have overseen the CGI graphics department a little better? Because some of the explosions in this film were horrendous, guys. I will not lie. A lot of the hand-to-hand and practical kills, especially when you got a couple of the headshots and, you know, the brains flying out and stuff, looked awesome. Everything looked really clean, especially the close-up stabbings and stuff like that were really, really cool. All the, you know, makeup effects, perfect, on par. But when it came to some of the explosions or people flying around, the CGI was just so noticeable. And I understand this is a Netflix movie, guys, but step that up for the next one possibly. Now I just remembered, so jumping to my likes, guys, was this character Randeep Hooda, and I'll put his picture up right there, guys. He was an awesome addition. So we didn't really know too much about this character. Was he a bad guy? Was he a good guy? So we learned a little bit more about him throughout the movie. I mean, he was someone that was definitely very, very skilled, and we got to see him in the third act, especially kind of just expand. You guys have seen, especially if you follow my social media, I did post a clip earlier last week, guys, of just him and Chris Hemsworth going at it hand to hand, and that was badassery, man. He was really awesome to see. Like I said, in that third act, he has a gunfight that is just so badass, so I definitely got to give props to him. Now, jumping back to the dislikes of this film for me was the main villain of this movie. So we got to see little spurts of kind of like the guy that was overseeing all of this kidnapping business going on, guys. Not that I didn't like him, it's just that we didn't get to spend too much time with him, so we didn't get to understand the method to his madness or understand how evil he could be. He was doing evil things when they showed him, but they didn't focus too much, and I thought they could have added maybe another 10 minutes or so just showing him doing evil shit so we can kind of, you know, just really hate this guy in the end of the movie. So in the end, guys, even though I did have some dislikes for this movie, I had fun for what it was. I kind of turned my brain off because action movies aren't masterpieces sometimes, and this was kind of one of those that fell in the category. It did get a 61% when it first came out on Rotten Tomatoes. Do I give it that low of a score? I don't think so. I'm going to give it a little higher up, guys. So my final rating for Extraction on Netflix today is a solid 3.5 out of 5, saying definitely check it out if you guys are in that action mood. And I forgot to mention, guys, the director of this film is Sam Hargrave, and he's mainly does a lot of stunt work all in the MCU movies, guys. So this is his first directorial huge debut, kind of just into your house, into your homes, on the couch mode debut. And that being said, it ain't that bad, so I can't wait to see what he has next. Alright guys, have you seen Extraction? Are you going to see it this weekend? Let me know in the comments below, and if you guys did appreciate my spoiler-free review on Extraction, please give me a thumbs up and make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and bell notification for more content like this. Till next time, guys, I'm gone.